Tua Tagovailoa signed a contract making him not the highest paid quarterback. What is he, fourth highest paid quarterback by average annual value? Third at this point. Well,
fourth now. Sorry,
fourth. Yeah,
we got another deal to get to. You're right. Fourth.
Because once two tied, because this is
third for about 3 hours.
This has always bothered me. Whenever you and this will pop up in the Olympics as well, right? As we see people who tie for a position, right?
Yep.
They tie for first or they tie for second. It always bothered me that if you have one person finishing first, then two people tie for second, then the next person is considered fourth. Like, why isn't that person third?
Because they're not third.
But two people tied for second.
How many? What number person did he cross the line?
I understand
what number
that he may have
person
finished. I get you. But if two people tie for second, that is my Olympic rant of the day, part one. No,
I love it. I love it.
Tua Tagovailoa now the third highest paid quarterback by average annual value. 4 quarterbacks ahead of him, pulling in about $53.1 million per season over the next 4.
And you know what, Martin? I have a feeling right now. I feel a certain way. I didn't take a sigh of relief. I said this would get done. We were just wondering, Martin, what the number was. That's what we were concerned about, what the number was. And then what happened this week? An additional 14% got added to the salary cap. So it did made, in my opinion, I said, okay, they must have lowballed him because now I guarantee you this deal gets done. If there was only, an 8 or 9% difference over the 4 or 5 years they were offering him, then it was a lowball offer. And then we find out that he takes the 4-year deal, which is smart. It's team friendly and it's him friendly. He could be a free agent again and go for another huge contract.
Well, it's a 4-year extension.
Extension,
the
right.
last year of his, so it's technically a 5-year deal. It's 4 years plus the extension. But he had 1 year left on his contract.
But it's just guaranteed there to 28.
Yeah.
So it's just for 4 more years that he's guaranteed to be there unless he's traded, or unless he wants to be traded, or unless they want to trade him. But this is just where I thought it would be. I thought the number should be respectably between 52 and 48. I didn't expect Tua to get $55 million. I didn't expect Tua to be the highest paid quarterback in the league, because even as a deep down Dolphin fan all my life, I try to really keep it real with the guys that play for my squad. He's not a $55, $56, $60 million quarterback yet, but fairly so. The market is the market. And when you look at the Goff deal and then you look at the deals ahead of Goff, it's like, okay, he's got to kind of fit somewhere in there, because we know Love's coming, we know Dak's coming, and those two guys are going to get bigger deals than what you're essentially going to give Tua and what essentially Herbert got and essentially Burrow got. So I like where the deal was. It was right in the range. It was over what I thought. I thought 52, even 51 and a half. I'd have been like, okay, what is it, 130, 140 guaranteed, which is what Goff has. Okay, I would be cool with that. Then you find out there's another, I believe, $9 million in incentives for playoffs, which I think it should be more. I'm being honest with you. I think it should be more. I think you would incentivize quarterbacks to study harder, be better, be more prepared, make better decisions, better throws, just be more locked in, because we all know money is the ultimate driver with pro athletes. We've seen it in every single sport. I love the deal. I'm glad it got done. I already knew it was going to get done, but the fact that he didn't try to play the holdout game, which you can see, I listened and watched every press conference that's been posted from training camp, and all you hear from his teammates is they want this done. He's the undoubtable leader. He's the first in the door. He's the last out the door. The coaching staff believes in him. The players believe in him. Whether the front office did or not, guess what? I don't even give a damn at this point, because that don't really matter. What matters are the people that are with him every day, every hour, every minute. And you already built this team around what he does. And in the Mike McDaniel offense, you gave Tyreek the big deal. You gave Waddle the big deal. Yeah, you lost Christian Wilkins because of it, but you better hope you got somebody with Weaver's the new defensive coordinator, defensive pieces being healthy this year, revamped offensive line healthy this year. This deal is perfect. It works for everybody involved. I knew it would get done. I was just always concerned, Martin, about the number. Now I don't have any proof, but I feel it was a low ball offer, because once that 14% got added to the salary cap, I said, okay, now let's see how fast this deal gets done. That's going to tell me right there what that previous offer was. And it was probably in the low to mid 40s, which was a low ball offer for what the market is asking for moving forward. So I love the deal. And guess what? In about 2 years, this will be like the 8th or 9th, maybe 10th highest contract for quarterbacks. There's a lot of quarterback. Purdy's going to get done. We know if C.J. Stroud has another great year going into that 3rd year, Stroud's going to get done. Well, Anthony Richardson could get redone again. Kyler Murray can redo a deal or something. Like, there's other quarterbacks, guys, that are going to get deals in a year and a half, 2 years. this will be the 8th to 10th highest quarterback deal on the board.
Well, the thing is, what it really does is it changes the conversation. Like, from now on, like, no playoff wins is not going to be acceptable.
Absolutely. I 100% agree.
Not winning the division is something that's going to not fall on, oh, well, we had injuries, we had this, we had that. No. Uso, it's on you, pal.
Yep.
You take all that percent of the salary cap, and I get it. I think the deal became a lot easier to get made once once they had that bump in the salary cap, right? That makes it a little bit easier to swallow the pill, so to speak. And what you do generally with signing a quarterback like this is you continue to keep yourself relevant, right? Like, you have an opportunity. Do I think that Tua is like gonna win a Super Bowl in the next over the span of this deal? If I had to bet on it, I'd say no. But the Dolphins now should be able to stay in the fight for quite some time, and if things break right for them, they have the opportunity to do so, right?
Absolutely.
But it's going to take a little bit of, situations here. Mahomes rolls an ankle, Lamar pulls a hamstring, and then all of a sudden, wait a minute, we got some options now in the AFC. That's the way I kind of see Miami's Super Bowl, quote-unquote, window with this deal. But really what it does for me is it changes the conversation. And we'll get to this also when it comes to Green Bay and their contract situation with their quarterback. We'll get to that in about 5 minutes. But it changes the conversation. Now, if you lose in the cold, it's going to be, well, Tua can't get it done in the cold.
Yep.
There's no more excuses. There's no more, oh, well, look at this. Look at, we lost this guy. We lost that guy. No. Now you're making $53 million a year, Tua, so it's on you. Right? The same way that when we look at the New York Giants, is anything perfect in New York? Absolutely not. But you know who's got the worst quarterbacks that we're thinking about? Like the worst quarterback ranking in terms of like media members, quote unquote? Probably Daniel Jones, right? Probably 10. Daniel Jones. Why is that? Because he's not on a rookie deal no more. The excuses are no longer there. Because when you sign this contract and when you offer this contract as a GM, as a head coach and as a team and as a player, you signed this contract, you were saying, we are winning games because of him. That's what you paying somebody $53 million a year. That's what that says. We are winning games because of his play. Not in spite of his play, not, in a net neutral, in terms of his play. No. We are winning games because of the things that Joe Burrow does, Jared Goff does, that Trevor Lawrence does, that so we'll talk about Jordan Love in just a second, but that's what we look at when you look at those guys who have the highest average annual value. This is why we win or lose, is determined on the play of this guy. So from now on, I don't want to hear any excuses. No more. You got all of the wide receivers paid up. You got Tua paid up. Offensive line, you've revamped it as you went down and illustrated earlier in this segment. That's it, though. Excuses are over. And if Mike McDaniel and his glasses and his ankles and his ankle socks and his off-white Air Force Ones went into the meeting with Stephen Ross.
A lot of cheap shots at my Dolphins right now, but go ahead, keep going.
There's no
cheap shots.
There's no such thing as cheap shots when somebody's getting paid $53 million a year.
You talking about my coach ankles and his glasses and all that.
Have you ever seen...
Come on, man.
You showed me the picture of Mike McDaniel with his ankles covered up, saved that Black Friday game. And the one in Kansas City.
I'm not tripping. No, I'm just saying you just take a shot. That's right, because he's a young styler. He's a young dude, man. He wears the jogger. He wears the jogger.
All right. So if Mike McDaniels walked into that meeting with his glasses on, his ankles out, and his off-whites on and said, you know what? No. We got to have Tua Tagovailoa, for this offense to zoom and this offense to hum in the way that it has in years past, and that's why this deal gets done.
All right, so a few things. There was no excuses made for Tua. The Tua gets creamed in the sports media and by fans overall, Pierce. So no excuses. Facts are just the facts. You know what I'm saying? If your offensive line just gets decimated, it is going to be hard for you to win football games. I remind everybody to go back to the
Patrick
Super Bowl.
Mahomes went into the Super Bowl with no right tackle, no left tackle, and people hold it against him.
No, they don't. That Tampa Bay Super Bowl, I rarely hear anybody give him flack for that, because anybody can look at that and admit, bro, that wasn't him. His line was decimated. He had to run for his life. So it shows that even Pat Mahomes, who is the greatest quarterback on planet Earth right now, in my book, on my list, he's number 1 and number 2. I don't think anybody's even close to him. I think there's some guys that could go in there and get a game, but as far as quarterback play goes, he's the best guy. Even himself, even the great Thomas Brady, you need an offensive line in front of you. So that's That's not.
Well,
That's
Tom Brady never took the most money, and Patrick Mahomes didn't have his extension at that point in time.
That's no excuse. That's made. Those are just the facts that happen.
Well, but they weren't. They also weren't. They weren't in the top 5 highest paid quarterbacks. Neither one of those guys were.
That part. Listen, that part to me is really just kind of overdone. I get what people say about that. All I ever said is just keep the same rhetoric about all the top paying guys. Don't just point out one top paying guy and say, oh, well, he's not doing this. No. Show me the top 5 or 6 paying guys. Listen, there's 2 quarterbacks recently, okay, that have Super Bowls in this league, and that's Matthew Stafford, and Pat Mahomes has won 3 out of the last 5, if I'm not mistaken. Brady got 1, but he didn't play anymore. He's talking for our great network, Fox, coming up on Sundays this year, making a ton of money doing that. So all I say is just keep the same rhetoric for all the top 5. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm with you. I will not make no excuses for Tua. I want Tua to now go win a playoff game, get to the divisional round, get to an AFC championship game, because you are making the bread and you are making the money. But let's not act like it does not take a team effect to actually win. I know wins and losses is supposed to be a quarterback category, but it's not. You win as a team, you lose as a team. But in the NFL,
I look at it as a quarterback category. I look at it as, did your highest paid players ball out?
Yeah, okay, fine.
That's where it is.
Right,
so
fine.
if
like
that
said,
happens to be your quarterback,
that's
fine.
I'll keep track of that, because I'm sure that'll change somewhere in football season down the line.
No, I've been pretty consistent on that. Like, that's the same reason why I wouldn't pay Brock Purdy $60 million, because the highest paid players on this team
Brock Purdy's
are the ones that ball out.
Because the market is the market.
And then I don't want to hear any excuses.
And talk to Niner fans about that. I'm talking about Oos and my Dolphins right now.
I don't want to hear any excuses for any of these quarterbacks that take up 17, 20% of the cap.
All right.
That's why you win and lose.
Mark,
right there.
I heard that part. All I'm saying is keep the same rhetoric.
No problem. I am.
You don't for Joe Burrow. You don't for Joe Burrow.
When has Joe Burrow had a healthy season and lost?
I know, but you told me you weren't concerned about his health. You've said that on air before.
You're right. I'm not.
But when he's missed 2 parts? He's missed 2 parts of 2 seasons.
Because they're not the type of injuries that end a career.
It doesn't matter if it ends your career now. Injury is injury.
Yes, it does. Like, if Tua gets another concussion, he probably will retire.
Injury.
Like that. Like, if Joe Burrow sprains another knee, I think he'll be back out there. Or
if he tears another ligament in his hand, he may
not
ever
still be back out there.
Same again.
Like, I think he'll be back out there. Like, I think it's a little different talking about Tua, who we've seen have 3 concussions in a season and throw up gang signs with his hands. Not to make light of it. But we've seen Tua have the adverse effects of multiple concussions on the field, where Joe Burrow has had structural injuries. Those are 2 separate things. When Tom Brady blew his knee out, nobody's like, oh, is he going to be done?